Hi, my name is Joan Brausch, and I am running for State House for the 98th House District, which is a newly redrawn district which now includes parts of Bay County and parts of Midland County. When I was about 11 years old, I was sitting in a classroom with some classmates after school doing my homework. I was the oldest of 7 kids at the time, and I was rather bossy at home, but I was a rather quiet kid in school. So I was over in the classroom corner doing my homework, and some kids were hassling one of my classmates who was kind of awkward, kind of geeky and nerdy, and they kept at him and kept at him. And I was not the kind of kid who wanted to get involved in being the brave person who defended kids, but they just wouldn't stop. And I knew I had to say something, but I also knew the cost. I knew that if I said something, they would be after me next. So finally, because they just wouldn't stop teasing him, I stood up and said, "You guys have got to stop this. It's not fair. It's just not fair." And that was the beginning of my standing up a lot for people, because people just aren't treated fair in this world. And when Dave and I moved to Midland and we got married and we raised our kids here, I got involved in politics for that reason. I chose politicians and candidates who stood up for people, because people need to be treated fairly and justly. And these politicians had those kind of values. I got involved in peace and justice issues for the same reason, because I wanted people to have the same kinds of chances that I had, that our kids have, and that I want my grandkids to have. I got involved in church ministry probably for some of the same reasons. I want people to learn that we all need to have those kinds of values. And when I was involved in church ministry, that was a large part of my work. I was very thankful for that opportunity to be able to teach people about justice in my work. So I was involved in church ministry for 20 years, and then I retired. And over the past couple of years, I've watched what's been going on in Lansing, and I haven't liked what I've seen at all. I've seen our politicians not care very much about the ordinary working people of our state. They haven't had a whole lot of care for the poor. They haven't cared much about our kids. They've been cutting their education spending, education funding. They've not been caring about the unions. They've done their best to cut collective bargaining or stop collective bargaining. And they haven't done a whole lot about small businesses. They've cared an awful lot about corporations. And so last November, I decided that I would run for public office. I've never run for public office before. But I decided that, sure, I could sign another petition online or on paper, or I could be involved in another protest, but it wasn't going to do a whole lot of good. So I decided to run for public office, and I do hope that you will support me in this campaign. We're going to be having several videos, probably about once a month, maybe a little bit more often than that. So I hope you'll tell your friends that we're going to be having these videos, and I hope you'll come back and watch them. I'll be covering all different kinds of different issues as we go through the campaign. Thanks.